Good morning and welcome to another one of our little project get-togethers. It's Monday, it's start of a new week. Oh, I've had an easy day today. I've got quite a few clients on holiday this week and the next couple of weeks. We've got a few actually that are stuck. A couple that are stuck in Dubai and one stuck in Cambodia. So how about that? Because of all this crap going on. But anyway, today we're going to have a little chat about lots of stuff really. Obviously the main thing on the menu is tonight's game against Middlesbrough and that continued push for the playoffs. So hopefully that's all going to go in the right direction. I'm going to have a little look, see who's around. We're a little bit early today due to my finishing early. So I'm a little bit selfish like that, but unfortunately it's just the way it is. Let's have a little look and see who's there, if anyone. Let's go. Come and say hello if you're there. I can't wait to hear from you. We've got 3 people on. We've got a comment already. Let's have a little look who it is. And it's Steve Markey. How you doing, mate? Hope you're all right. Nice and early today. A little bit earlier than usual, so that suits the book, doesn't it? It does for me because I finish work early, so I can come on early. Steve Donnelly saying hello. How you doing, Steve? Hope you're all right, mate. We're going to have a few little bits and pieces of chatting today. Art Watson's on. A couple of things to think about tonight. Obviously, the result is the crucial thing for us at the minute. I'm absolutely sick to death of hearing people going on and on and on about Wrexham as if it's any fucking big deal. You know, someone actually said yesterday, "Oh, we have to get the nine points to make up on Wrexham." You know, I mean, what on earth are people talking about? We have a points target of probably, to be sure, of getting to playoffs 72, something like that. That's all we have to do. Forget everyone else, because that league table will change every couple of days. And obviously, we have more home games. We have 7 home games and 5 away games. So we're in a better position than some clubs, like Wrexham, for instance. Right? People saying, "Oh, Wrexham have got like the winning habit." You know, they've won 2 more games than us this season. We got a game in hand and we got to play them. All right. You know, Wrexham, Jesus. I mean, if Wrexham do go up, it's not impossible. If they do go up, then God help them. I mean, you know, God help the what would the Premier League be coming to if that like dinosaur Phil Parkinson manages a team in the Premier League? What on earth is it all about? Paul James is saying, "Hiya, how you doing, Paul?" We've got a few people on actually, considering it's early. Jeremy Burrell is saying good morning. Good morning, Jeremy. Uh, yeah, so perhaps 12 o'clock. Very, very rare I finish this early. Like I said, I got a few clients away, which is, it's not a great thing, but, you know, it gives me a little bit of extra time. Ray Sturdy it is Sturdy, isn't it, Ray? Yeah. Ray Sturdy saying good morning. Good morning, Ray. Nice for you to come on and say hello to us today. I've got my spectrum. My eyes are playing me up just lately. We're going to have a little look at the probable lineup for us, and also, you know, oh Jesus, if I can get this bleeding phone to work, that is. Give me a minute. Does my head in, this does. There we go. All right then. So not so much us, probably as Middlesbrough. They play a little bit of a convoluted sort of setup. The good thing about it is they won't be coming for a draw. Obviously, they desperately want the points because they want to get in the top 2. And at the moment, they're being challenged by Hull City and by Ipswich. You know, people going about Hull. I'd much rather see Hull in the Premier League, for instance, and Wrexham. I mean, Hull City play football, Ipswich play football, Middlesbrough play football, Coventry play football, Wrexham play with the back 5. You know, how on earth? I mean, even if you were to get into that, like, into Premier League, how does anyone want to watch that week in and week out? They are dire to watch. They just hit the long ball, you know. Let's go back to the 1970s, shall we? John Farmer saying hello to me. How you doing, John? Steve saying everyone's panicking, Steve, and they need to hear a voice. It's just jumped then, and they need to hear a voice of reason. Thank you. I hope that's me. Clive Murphy's here. Good morning, Steve, and all. Hope all is well. How you doing, Clive? Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you Sunday. Paul James, don't get the let's stay here in this division uh, another season. The fat lady hasn't started singing yet. Loads of people are saying now, we need, if we go up with this team, we're probably going to come back down. We're not going to go up with this team, are we? If we get promoted, there will be more changes. We have got some Premier League players, I think, already in the team, but it just like the old negativity of it frightens me to death. Like we've lost one game in 10 or 11, and it was like you think the end of the world. Everyone's going, oh well, that's it then. We'll have to forget it for this season. But what? Because we lost one game. Me, Patrick Haslam is saying looking good. Thank you, Pat. That's a nice thing to say, son. I'm sure you're looking good as well. Well, I'm not sure, but you probably are. Um, yeah, Pat, how are you, mate? Big night tonight. Under the lights at St Andrews. You've got to fancy us. And I always fancy us against the better teams at St Andrews, because the teams that open up and play us at football, we're usually better than them, and particularly at St Andrews. Um, the teams that we've come unstuck badly against this season. I mean, the Millwall game sort of reminded me of the commentary game, man centre half, and it all sort of went tits up, didn't it? And we were out muscled by Millwall, which is fair enough. I mean, it happens sometimes. Um, but teams that beat us tend to be teams that, put a lot of men behind the ball, like Wrexham. Um, so, a game in Middlesbrough, and I've been reading a few Middlesbrough forums, and they're not very confident about coming to St Andrews. They're having a problem of putting the ball in the net, and that's it's something we've had, haven't we, earlier in the season. We don't really have it so much now, but we could do with a few goals tonight, definitely. Beck's on, saying, good afternoon, boss. How you doing, Beck? My PA, Beck. Oh, she's lovely, Beck is. And Roy Sturdy is saying 3-1 to Blues. That would be an absolute brilliant result, I mean, at this point now, it is important for us to improve the goal difference, because when it's so tight, I said at the start of the season it's a poor championship, and it is, and that's why there's so many teams that have still got an option or an opportunity, So we have to try and win, and then when we win well, because we lost 3 goals, didn't we, against Millwall. Clive Murphy is I'm not one for waiting another year to go up. It would be great to go up this year. Come on, Blues. It would be. I mean, Chris Davis had a 5-year plan to get into the Premier League. We're on year 2, so that's to put it in perspective a little bit. Brian, no, Tom Wagner would want us in on that top table as soon as possible. Tony Daniels is saying hello. How you doing, Tony? And Paul James, exactly, Clive. Paul's agreeing with Clive. There you go. Everyone agrees with Clive, though. He's a good lad, Clive. Ain't your son? We love our Clive. So going back to that Middlesbrough lineup, obviously we don't know what it's going to be, what we can have a guess. And they do sort of play, well, you'd call it 4-4-2, but they don't play like that. They play 4-2-2-2. So they play they play narrow, which suits us down to the ground, because we can exploit their fullbacks. I'm sure they would have watched out. Well, definitely they would have watched how we play in it, and will know what to expect from our wingers. I love it when people say, after about 3 or 4 games playing like with wide players, I'll probably next thing you'll hear is they've sussed us out now. They suss you out like the night before the second game you play that way, because they watch the games. We know how we play. It's not a big secret. Tina Baker, maybe another year in the championship would do us good, and then ready for the. I don't know, Tina. Why would it do us good? I don't understand that mindset. I really don't. There's 150 million pounds waiting to be picked up if we go up. Why would it do us good? I just don't get it. We'd just be in the same position in a year's time. Look, that's how I think of it. Obviously, everyone's got their own view on it, but teams that go into Premier League now don't go up with the same team that they win the Championship with, because if you do, you just come straight down. Look what Sunderland have done, you know. And Leeds are like half and half, and Burnley do it every time. They don't spend the money, they come back down. They go back up, they come back down. But in the long run, they make money. Paul James saying, don't they get it will be harder next year? Well, it will be, because like I said, it's a very poor Championship this year. Wolves coming down. It looks like Burnley are coming down. So Burnley are good at winning the Championship, aren't they? You know, they're just not good at playing in the Premier League. Wolves, who knows what's going to happen with Wolves? They may have a lot of players. I think they're going to have like financial difficulties. They come down. I really do, because they wouldn't have been expecting it. And the other one, well, if West Ham come down, I reckon like the whole, I don't know, like it's going to be is that club going to like disintegrate, because will it have enough? Will it be able to pay the players that are on those huge contracts? It all depends, of course, what clauses they have written into the contracts. But West Ham could be on sticky ground, and if Spurs come down, whoa, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? No, Tina, I'm not. You know, point I'm making. Like, I'm not like. I am disagreeing with you, but I'm not disagreeing with you to say that what you're saying is wrong. It's just my opinion. I think, you know, the quicker we get the 130 million or 150 million that you get for being in the Premier League, the better. Just my opinion. Dave Cox saying, hi all, don't fully agree with promotion talk. Yes, it would be great, but it's not a disaster if we don't. I feel our first half of the season has left us with a little too much to do. It's all opinions though, and that's why this forum is great. Well, I really agree with you there. You know, it's not a disaster if we don't get promoted. For a lot of people, you know, you can just see what's going to happen. You know, we see it all the time, don't we? Even in our group, we get people that you know, like to make a mountain out of a molehill. We've had one about half an hour ago. But you know, it's like the odds are against us going up, aren't they? I think once we get the playoffs, it's a different thing. But the odds are against us getting the playoffs. I mean, it's probably like a 20% chance, something like that. We have got a fantastic home. If we win all our home games, we will be in the playoffs. It's as simple as that. You know, that's how close it is. So for people like to think that the worst thing you can do now is look at the league table and look at sixth place and go, right, like we're 7 points behind or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. We have a points total to aim at, and if we get there, we are more or less. If we get 73 points, we will definitely be in the playoffs. I think it might be as low as 69 or 70. The teams around us are beating each other, and they're losing to teams that they shouldn't lose to. So everyone's so inconsistent. We got the second best league record at the moment in the division, and our fans think it's the end of the world. You know, so you got to like get your head around that, because I can't. You know, I think we've had a great season so far. The thing you're making there as well, the point you're making there, Dave, about the start of the season, we couldn't come into the season and make the financial outlay that we made, you know, in the two halves. So in other words, two windows combined. I guess what everyone's thinking, if we'd done it in one go at the start, then it would have been this team from the beginning, but it wouldn't have been, of course, because the same players aren't available. We couldn't have outlaid that much money in one go like that. The other thing is we would have started literally with a complete new 11. You know, so there's a lot of reasons why we couldn't do that. And I think the way it's happened is probably, you know, good. It's given us a run at the top six. If we win tonight, we're in a really good position. We go to Charlton on Saturday. And by the way, on Saturday, it's Chris Davis's 100th game in charge of us as manager. And you know, we was talking about this yesterday on the Sunday morning phoning thing, and Dave Pegg was just having a little look at some of the stats and that, and like Dave said, we got like Chris Davis got a 62% win record with Blues. I mean, that is just unbelievable. Have a look through all of the leagues and see how many managers have got that sort of record with the team they're in charge of. Um, Shane Stafford saying not rolling playoffs off. Well, you can't rule it out. I mean, of course you can't. A lot of other teams might lose steam or come unstuck. It's still doable. Hang on a minute. It's just, the feed is moving. It's still doable, but we're not getting automatic unless we're not getting automatic. I would almost definitely say that. But when you say the playoffs are doable, of course they're doable. Jesus, they're doable for 11 teams. Tina Baker's come back saying we need to be proud of ourselves. Never thought we would be where we are now. Got a positive feeling for tonight. Tina, you're absolutely bang on. You really are. And the thing is, like, even about, if we lose tonight, we can still go into the playoffs. If we lost tonight and won 6 on the trot, we would be in the playoffs with three or four games. We'd be well on target for the playoffs. The thing is, with 3 points a game, anyone can still do it. That's in that top 16 probably. Harry's on. How you doing, Harry? Nice to see you, son. There's a phrase, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I prefer chuffed if we do, chuffed if we don't. Lots to love about this season. Absolutely great point, Harry. We have had a fabulous season, haven't we? Look at all the stuff that's come out of the club this season. I mean, we've been absolutely brilliant. Just the feel-good factor itself, the way people look at us is different. The ground is great, I did actually, I've actually been chasing up an email I sent to the club. A couple of people sent in some photos of disabled toilets that have been trashed and not repaired, and a few of the partially sighted supporters having a little bit of a moan about the system that they get. And it's frustrating, like where the commentaries about 3 or 4 seconds behind the action. It's really poor. But I'm waiting for the club to get back on that one, and I'll let you. By the way, if you're one of the people that emailed us, we'll let you know about what happens with that. But the whole situation of everything is better, just everything like 1875 bus, like the fan zone, things that we would never have dreamt about under our previous owners. So it is really, really good. Tina's saying maybe we might go up and then next season win the title. Well, who knows? I was talking about it, funnily enough, Tina, I think in one of the lives last week when I said that I think the last team to do that was Leeds, and I think that was in the last season of the old First Division, I believe. They got promoted from Division 2 and went up and won the Championship, I think, as it was called then. But looking at tonight's opponents, I think, I think our supporters have made us feel fragile for tonight, because what they do is they put an awful lot of pressure on the players and the management. So because of all of the negativity that's been around groups, not ours, we have had a few people have had to be removed over the last 7 days due to abusive comments towards players, managers and that sort of stuff. But generally speaking, we very rarely get it. But and I know from speaking to players, families, and managers and management, teams, families and stuff, that it affects them, and they do see it, and it puts extra pressure on everyone. Everyone is put under extra pressure by this. So we're really shooting ourselves in the foot by doing it, because the players come out, they feel straight away that the fans are on the back. The management will obviously feel the same. We've got a great management team with Chris and Ben and everyone else, and it's like, it's like Harry said, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. We've lost one game in 11, and people are calling for Chris Davies' head after we got beat by Millwall. They were saying Davies should be sacked. You need to ask yourself 2 questions there. Number one, do you really mean that, or is it said in heat of the moment? And if it's said in heat of the moment, don't say it next time. And number 2, who do you think would be replacing Chris Davies, and who would come to us? That's what you got to think. Clyde Murphy saying there's no logic in wanting to stay in this division. The aim and dream is to be in the Premier League. Let's do it this season. That's what football is about. To aim high. Whenever we go up, big investment will be needed, and it will be put in. Clive, I'm absolutely sure of that. We're not short of a bob or two. Are we really? We have to be careful with profit and sustainability, or whatever it's called. And I think we're not stupid. I mean, we have some very, very big financial brains at the club. People that know what they're doing, people that are in really high finance, But it's funny you say that, Clive, about, and I think I might have said it yesterday in our chat. Like the Premier League is the dream, but I don't know if it is. Are you doing, Dave? Peg, you all right, mate? I don't know if it is. I was saying yesterday morning's Sunday morning show that I have a good mate who's an Everton supporter. I've got friends who are supporters of every club. I live in Spain. Lots of people support lots of different teams, and an Everton supporter. And he was sort of saying, that Everton have had a really rough time, and they probably like 4 or 5 seasons they come extremely close to being relegated. I think there was 2-0 down at somewhere. I forget where it was now, Crystal Palace or something, and if they lost that game they went down and they drew 2 each, something like that, and they're struggling to stay up season after season, and now they're like mid-table and they're not going to go down and they're not going to get to Europe, but there's no, the ambition in the Premier League is to stay in it. I mean, look at the Championship now, look at it, anyone can get in that top 6, it's absolutely thrilling, isn't it? And they're thinking about making it a top 8 next season. I mean, Jesus. Tina Back said, definitely shocked the Villa fans. Well, I've got to say that it has. But I mean, and this is another point that I made over the last few days, is that Villa getting beaten by Wolves. Now, Villa are 3rd in the Premier League. Wolves were rock bottom with 1 win. And Wolves beat Villa. I mean, I haven't looked on the Wolves on the Villa forums. I think probably Beck might have looked on the Villa forums. I probably will later and just see what they're saying. But I can't imagine what our fans would be going mental, wouldn't they? If we're 3rd and we got beat by bottom of the table Wolves, who are local rivals. I mean, I think we would have to close the club down or something. I don't know. Beck's saying if we can get promoted, Harry Wilson is a free agent in the summer. Well, don't start the transfer rumours yet, Beck's. But Beck's likes Harry Wilson. He's a good player, isn't he? I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I'm sure, true to Blues and the way we sign players, we were probably looking at players that aren't really on the agenda. I think we've done it again, haven't we? We did it in the close season. We didn't sign players that were well known. We signed Dimmy, he's got a big past with us. Other players that we signed, I don't really think people knew much about them. And the ones that we just signed in the last window, no one knows them. And they're all great players. And that's how we shop. We shop cleverly. And what I love is, the way that we buy, we loan in players to buy them and not being stupid. It's like with Solis, if he plays more than 11 games, then we agree to sign him and all that sort of thing. It's really good business. You're not taking risks. Dave Peggy saying we're all waiting for Mitrovic. We are, Dave. He might be too old by the time he comes. Well, a couple of seasons ago, I think we were just saying, that it might have been the end of last season, Mitrovic ought to come to us, whether he will or not, I don't know. Paul James, heroes and villains. Villains more calling for Unai's head. I'm not joking. Well, it doesn't surprise me, Paul. I do go into heroes and villains and have a look sometimes, but I haven't done for a while. But, Shane Stafford is asking Beck who Harry Wilson is. Well, if you don't know who Harry Wilson is, give it a quick Google. I'm going to have a look later, Paul, because I love going to heroes and villains sometimes. They're as bad as blue, but I think probably, you know what, every team is the same now with the way that social media is. Within minutes you can be making comments. And I was saying this to Beck the other day, that years ago a player could do something stupid and you could, the heat of the moment, you fucking idiot, something like that. It's said in a second and it's gone into the ether, hasn't it? You say the same thing on social media straight after a game, and it's there in black and white. A player can see that. Players in the stand will hear comments, I won't necessarily know they're aimed at, or if they do hear them aimed at them or sung at them, it's not nice. But when it's in black and white like that and it's stuck there, then that ain't good. I mean, what we do when people do that, we delete the subject, we delete the comment, we delete the person. Simple as that. We had someone on earlier, I think it was Steve Watkins, asking us why we turned the commenting off on one of his posts. We had this massive debate about it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and people get so hung up about it. And I think I had the cheek to say, like, is it our ego or something? Why would it be our ego? It's more likely your ego that you're worried about having your post turned off. The reason that the commenting was turned off was because it was the third post made about the same subject. We have to run the group. If we've got three posts all discussing the same thing, it makes life really hard for us to moderate it. And so and also people don't want to keep reading the same thing. You might have had some interesting comments in it, but those people have probably commented in the other ones, and if they haven't, then it's not the end of the world. And all I can say to people that don't like the way we run the group is to move on. You don't have to come into our group, you don't have to post. And the other thing is, if there's an issue with having something turned off, and this is a typical, like, what people do is they go then post again. Why did I have a comment instead of like messaging me or messaging a moderator, and saying, can you explain why you did that? And I'll happily explain it. I did explain it anyway, and then I turned the commenting off. I explained why the commenting was turned off. But it's just absolutely. I mean, and then someone's going, or is it something more sinister or something like that? Like what, mate? Like what do you think it might be? Why we turned the comment off about, I forget what it was now, our chances of going up or something, which everyone is talking about. What do you think the sinister thing might be? That we think we might go up? Could that be it? Fuck. Lee, come on, you blue boys. Hey, doing Lee Harvey, it's nice to see you, son. And Paul James, I might be laugh when they call us obsessed. They have a threat on there about us. It's still, and we're talking about the Villa now, aren't we, Paul? The thing with the Villa is they really are worried about what we're doing. Listen, I've got some mates that are Villa fans. I've got a friend actually. He's one of the on the steering group for the Villa Lions, International Lions, which is like their international supporters club. And I talk honestly to him about the Blues and about the Villa. He talks to me, and he says, like, of course we know it's going to happen. Of course we do. They know what Tom Wagner is. They know how big Knighthead are, and I think it's different. Like with Villa, I'm not saying obviously the Villa have got some money, and I'm not saying they haven't got a pot to piss in or something, but I wouldn't say their owners are as focused as ours are. Ours are very focused and hands-on. There's not many clubs where the chairman walks around the fan park. And by the way, as far as I understand, Tom Wagner is making a recovery, and we can't keep. I don't think people want to keep pestering him and asking him stuff. The club is still being managed and run in a very good, proper way. We've got Tom Healy at the head of stuff anyway, so he's looking after stuff. I don't know what Tom Brady's doing. He's probably like showing his big teeth off and giving it the old, But I think we're all right. Tina's just asking me actually how Tom is. Yeah, as far as I know, Tina, I think he's fine, making a recovery. And I've said before, a man of his age, and and comparatively young. He's got a load of dough. Got doctors probably prodding him everywhere to make sure he's all right. And the thing is, I think once you've had an injury like that, once you've had an event like that, then in a lot of ways you're more protected than everyone else because your blood pressure is constantly monitored. You'll be on a cocktail of drugs that will protect you against that happening again. And Tom's going to be well checked out, isn't he, by everyone? So I'm sure he's going to be back soon. Dave Piggy's saying, have you moved your microphone again? I'm at 90% to hear you a bit like last time. Now I'll let me move it a little. And plus, I'm not talking very loud, Harry. Let me just give it a bit of direction. It's going to move me diaphragm. Don't get excited, girls. It's not a contraceptive tool. It's a microphone. Is that better, son? Ah. So if you're at 98% anyway, it's all right. What's the matter with you? Come on, Dave. Can everyone hear me now? Thank you. Tina can hear me. You know what it is, Dave? Give them a little bit of... Or get your bloody... What's it, son? Get your batteries replaced in that fucking hearing aid. I've been telling you for ages. You buy them cheap batteries, they'll last you 10 minutes. Get Duracells, right? You've seen that bunny. Your ear holes will be great. You'll hear me like clear as a bell, son. Yeah, look, everyone's saying that I sound great. People keep asking me about this, which I wear. I don't wear this very often, to be honest, because it's pretty big in it. This is me Blues ball and world and football in solid silver. This is quite heavy as well. I've got a lovely Burka chain to go with it. This came from Amazon Gold, if anyone wants to know. It's John Pants Francis. You can look him up on Facebook. John will make you jewellery to order as well. He does some absolutely great bits of blue stuff. And we have got a ring at the moment, which is... we have got a ring out there at the moment, which is being raffled. It's £3 a go. It's absolutely brilliant ring. It's a KRO in an oval with a black background, a silver KRO. It's a heavy ring. If you fancy that, have a go at the raffle for £3. Emma Palmer is like in charge of it all. You can drop her a message or you'll see it. Thank you, Lee. Lee's asking what scores are we thinking tonight. I very rarely make prediction scores, but I did make one yesterday. I said I think we're going to win 2-0. It's going to be a very tight game. I think the first goal will be important because if they score first, the likelihood is they're going to go a bit deep. And then we have that issue of getting through them, although they're not great defensively and they're not great at attacking either, but they have got a lot of points. Harry Parker saying, I think if you have a post deleted, you can either be annoyed about it or you can hope you haven't upset anyone. The thing is, Harry, it wasn't deleted, the commenting was turned off, that's all. I left the post there so people could read what was being said, but we didn't delete it. I just turned off the commenting, and before I did it, I put a comment on it saying the comment is being turned off because this post, we already have 2 posts discussing the same subject, but people have to come on and make the point then, and that's why it pisses me off when people ask, is it our ego? No, it's not. Why would it be our ego? I don't get it, Lee saying, good call. I think it is. If we score first, then it would be really interesting because if we score first, they have nothing to lose by coming all out at us. If they come all out at us, I don't think at the moment in the division there's a better counter-attacking team than us. The pace we have going forward is frightening. The choice of the team selection will be interesting tonight. I'm not quite sure how we, what. Let me just have a look at what Shane Stafford's saying. Liava, we might nick a win. We do play well about teams higher up the table. Just because they played the softer teams before us doesn't mean they're better. I think Middlesbrough are a good team. I think they're having a little bit of a jittery spell at the moment. Um, they have had a few disappointing results of late, and I think like their manager Kim Hallberg has come in for a little bit of stick from the supporters. I don't think they've won in five or something. And they were doing really well. Rob Edwards left, and then we came back, and then they had a few stand-in people for a couple of weeks, and then Kim Hallberg came in, and suddenly they turned it around a bit. But I think since then he's had a few problems, and every manager has them, and I'd rather be in their position than ours. But they're coming tonight with the fans in expectation of them having a go at us and trying to beat us. Although from what I've read on their forums, their fans generally don't think that they're going to get anything out of the game. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think we're in a position where we can feel confident, but we can't feel overconfident. We score first, I think everything's in our favour. They score first, then they're going to go deep, and we're going to have to get at them and just to get a point out of the game. If we win tonight, then the last three games, Norwich, Millwall, Middlesbrough, if we take 6 points from those three, we're averaging 2 points a game, right? There's so averaging 2 points a game, and with 13 games to go, that would give us 26 points. That would give us like 71, 72. If we average that 2 points a game, that's going to get us into the playoffs. So you can see we're on target if we win tonight. If we don't, we might be a point behind it. But then going to Charlton on Saturday, we can bring it back. We want to get ahead of those. We want to get ahead of ourselves if we can. Forget what Wrexham are doing. Who cares what Wrexham are doing? Why are people obsessed with Wrexham? I don't get it. And this geezer yesterday came on and said, you know what he called them? Wrexers. I was like, what? Who's Wrexers, by the way? Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. Wrexers. And then he said, and the goals differences. The goals differences? What's that? Do you mean the goal difference? Tina's saying the atmosphere should be good tonight as well. Tina, you know what I love? It is St Andrews under the lights. I'm so glad this game is on Monday night and not a Saturday afternoon. And I know probably you're going to shoot me down now, a few people, because I know how difficult it is probably going to night games as opposed to the Saturday games. And we all love a Saturday game. And it was horrible Saturday with no game. But look, it's Monday and we got a game. But, under the lights. Also, with the fireworks and that, we got 10 minutes where no one can see each other, so we can sneak through and score. They don't know the way around St Andrews when the fog's down. We do, so we can sneak round the back, score a couple of goals before the firework fog lifts. It's only a thought. Dave's saying the weather looks good as well. That's good. Paul James saying Luton, Tilney Blue Boys, 2-0, Stano back amongst the goals. I don't know if Stansfield will start tonight, I think tonight it probably is going to be Docks and Priska. I'm not really sure. Harry Parker saying Middlesbrough swap our... Would you swap our squad for Middlesbrough? Would you swap managers? I wouldn't swap the squad because we got a different squad now to the one that we had earlier in the season, and I wouldn't swap managers definitely. But they have got quite a good team. But they're a team, they're quite an experienced championship team. They've got people like Ayling and Britton and. I'm just going to put my glasses on. My eyes have been playing up a little bit. So they've got like Matt Targett and Britton as the fullbacks. Now they are going to have their work cut out. Matt Targett is going to be in all sorts of problems with Vicente if he starts on the right, which I think he will. Looking at the two fullbacks, I mean the other side is Britton, who's going to, whichever one he has. they're going to be struggling, aren't they? The two centre backs, Melanda and Ayling, I mean, they're experienced players, but I reckon Priska is going to get amongst them two. He's only a kid and he don't mind fighting. We got McGree on their left hand side of midfield. So what it will be is Britain, the back four there, but when in possession, one of those fullbacks will go forward. Then you've got the two defensive mids of Hackney and Morris. Then in front of them, you've got you got Brown and McGree, and then in front of them, Conway and Whitaker, and then you will probably have Target joining that sort of midfield two behind the two strikers. I know that sounds convoluted and mental, but that's how they play, and we'll see if they stick to it. I think they will. Shane Stafford should call it St Andrews at Ninja Park with the blooming smoke on it. And when you get all that smoke and you're a Middlesbrough player, and then out of the mist comes Iwata. Oh fuck. Or Pike or something. Pike could be back tonight. Lee Harvey saying he hopes Prisky scores. Good old Prisky. You like him now, Lee. You didn't like him when he first played. Paul James saying, yeah, Lee, he'd be good for him. He needs to get off the mark. Every striker wants to get off the mark. He's playing really well. He doesn't need to. We want him to. He'll want to. We want him to. It gives every striker that little bit of extra confidence when they score their first goal. And I think this game is made for us to win. I shouldn't be saying that, and I'm not taking anything for granted against Middlesbrough, but they're a team that aren't that confident at the moment. So I think, dependent on who's fit, I've got a funny feeling Pate might play. I think Sean Baldock said this yesterday. I think Pate might play, and I think Wagner might play, but I think it would be more sensible if they're both fit to put them both on the bench. Pake has to be extremely careful with dislocation. I've worked with sports injuries, as you probably all know, and dislocation, shoulder dislocation, is very, very a very dodgy injury. It can. I think Pake will undergo surgery in the summer. I hope he doesn't have to, because he will miss the World Cup. So if he's given up that World Cup shot to play for us now and have his surgery in the summer, fair play to him. That tells you all about him, doesn't it? But even so, if I'm an attacker, a Middlesbrough attacker, and I know Pake is playing with a slightly dodgy shoulder, I'm going to give him some stick, and I think that's something we have to bear in mind, and Wagner as well. But I think we can work around it with the players we have. Steve Gartshaw is saying, been saying a while, Stano needs a break, Ducks and Prisker up top. Yeah, well, it's Prisker up top and Ducks in the 10. Ducks is a number 10, he's not a striker. And I think with him, the Middlesbrough game will suit him better, because they're not like a team of big bruisers like Millwall were. Ducks isn't physical. He hasn't got that physicality to his game, and that's why I think if we get into Premier League and he comes with us, he's going to be a big part player, because Premier League defenders, I think, are probably going to eat Duxie for breakfast unless he can put that physicality into his game. Tina Baker saying, any advice on a slip disc? Happened to me Wednesday. I'm in agony. Well, you really need to have it looked at, because it depends where it is, which area of the spine it's in. And I think Dave Peggs just made the point there. GP advice required. Discs are very, very dodgy things, so you really need to have it looked at, Tina, to be honest. So I think we could play with the following team. Beadle, man of the match in his last game. For me, I think he had an absolutely great game. So, not man of the match. Sorry, I didn't mean that. He had a good game. Left back, okay, go to back, across the back four. Beadling goal, across the back four. Number two for me, I think I'll play Ethan Laird. Next to him, Clara. Next to him, Panzo. Next to him, I would play Brighter Side Samuel in the left back position. The two mids, I think, would have to be Iwata and Doyle. In front of them, I think we'll probably start with Vicente and Dimmy, and then Dux and Priska up top. That is the team I think probably will happen, but it depends on the fitness of the other two and if they're willing to take the risk on him. Plenty of brandy, low. That sounds like a good idea, Tina. Brandy, or a bit of what they call it. You know what? Well, I mean, I love a bit of Tia Maria, vodka, and a bit of Coke or Black Russian in it. You know, get in there. Have a spliff or three, whatever. Try Magnus cider, Clive. Clive, he has a preventative approach to medicine. So what he does is he stays permanently drunk, so that if he gets ill, then he doesn't have any pain. He just sees it as a precaution in case he gets pain, just to stay permanently pissed. It's like it's not a bad idea. It does affect you in some ways, you know. But I mean, he's a lorry driver as well, so you know, he's not really. Before you get excited, Liabi, you'll be flying. You will, Tina. You'll be flying, love. Harry Parker. Joints are good for your joints, eh, Lee? Harry, honestly, come on. You're talking like a teenager here, son. I can just see Harry having a spliff, especially when you look at some of the stuff he writes. Fucking, Harry's stoned again. Look what he's writing. Yeah, big game tonight. Big game on Saturday against Charlton. That's going to be a big one. Charlton away. Chris Davis's 100th game in charge for us. You know what's going to happen, don't you? Who plays for Charlton? Lyndon Dykes. Dave Pegg. Clive never gets a hangover. He doesn't. Well, Dave is sort of on a. When you're never sober, you don't really get a hangover. So I think with Clive, he just has this thing, you know, and it's not a bad philosophy. It's like remain above the legal limit, and I think that's like, you know, it is, and that's his philosophy for the whole of his life. Just above the legal limit, not below it. Shane Stafford is saying, I think it's busier our midfield is for. I think the busier our midfield is for Middlesbrough. We'll have a better chance countering 2-1 Blues. Well, yeah, and this is why I think, Shane, that Tommy Doyle will play alongside Iwata, because what we have with Doyle is that ability to make the out ball. It's going to be a big miss tonight not having Solis, because you know, when you got players like McGree, you know, on that right hand side of the left hand side of their midfield, he's going to be buzzing around, and Solis is the kind of player that's going to hit him and break it up, you know. Whereas Doyle isn't that player. Iwata is, of course, and you know, but it could well be that if Paik is fit, that the boss goes with Paik and Iwata just to give it that additional bit of safety first. In front of the back four, we have to be. I think we have to be like, you know, take precautions and be safety first with this game. We don't want to take any risks. John Solis over the last few games, I think Chris Davis spoke to him about it. He tends to hold on to the ball a little bit too long sometimes. That comes of playing in La Liga, and it's the same actually with Vicente. Sometimes he tries one too many, and it's because like La Liga isn't as physical, and they're more likely to stand off you than they are in the Championship. and I think it's just that is just learning to play in the league that we play in. Um, I think Priska is more suited to the English game than any of them, because he's come straight in and he's that centre forward that every championship team or a lot of championship teams have. He's a big, mobile, fast centre forward. He's not one that you stick up there and aim the ball at his head. He isn't that at all. But like with 15 minutes to go, if you want to go long for Priska, then you can, because he's extremely good in the air, isn't he? I mean, he dominates some extremely some extremely well experienced and good centre halves. We've seen him do it a few times in his limited amount of games that he's played. We've got 84 comments at the moment, so we've still got 16 left, so we've still got time. Lee Harvey sounds a good passer. I don't know which one. I think he's probably talking about Doyle there, Lee. He is a good passer of the ball. Solis isn't bad. I wouldn't say Solis has got the range of pass that Doyle has. And watching against Millwall when he came on, he did seem to dig it out a little bit, he did try and knock it around a bit. But at 3-0, I honestly believe that. Oh, Duck's a good pass of the ball. But I honestly believe, like at 3-0 against Millwall, I think we sort of called it a truce. Millwall stepped off the gas a bit. They don't want to get injuries or push it too hard. We were given a bit more space so we could knock it around a little bit more and have more time on the ball. We actually had the majority of possession against Millwall, believe it or not. Tina saying, do you agree with fans leaving at 60th minute if we aren't playing great? Well, it's the answer to that, Tina, is it's down to the individual, really. It is down to the individual. If you're driving back from London, you're 3 down, and you've got to make that drive back and all that business, and some people are tempted to do it. I mean, I would never want to leave before the end, because it often happens where something happens and you're going to miss it, No, I don't. I mean, I don't agree with it, but you can't. People pay the money. If they want to leave, they can leave. Put it on a plate for Duck Priska. Well, he did. I mean, that at least talking about the goal against. I forget who it was. Great, but Norwich. That ball down the right from Sai Samuel. He played so well in that game, and then that lovely. Priska went wide right. Exactly what I mean about him. He's mobile. He looked up. He sees Ducks. The ball was perfect. Ducks, to be fair to him, great finish, and that was a really, really good goal. Dave Peggy saying no, he wouldn't leave early. Lee Harvey saying stay till the end. We never leave, no matter what the score. Very true, mate. Steve Donnelly. You pay your money. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Steve. I agree with Lee, because I wouldn't leave before the end. I'd be down the concourse. But Steve Donnelly there, like, you pays your money, you takes your choice. If you want to go early, if we're losing, then fine. And then you get back and you turn the radio on, and we've equalised or something like that. I know people that when we played Crystal Palace. I'm going back some years now, and we were like 4-1 up, and they've he got to 4-4, and people that have had enough of that and left, and by the time they got in the car, it was 6-4 to Palace. So it's up to you. But tonight, I think under the lights, Sky are there, full house. Full complement of Middlesbrough fans. It's going to be a big night. It's a big championship night. All eyes will be on that game. If we win, it brings us back to within, I don't know. If we win, how many points? Dave Pegg will tell me. Dave, if we win, how many points behind 6th place are we? I think it's probably 5. We have got a game in hand at the moment, haven't we? But it doesn't matter, like I've said before, it don't matter. we've got teams in the top 6 to play at St Andrews and to play away against. I know we're away to Ipswich, we're away to Hull City, 2 very hard games, and it's just going to be really, really good, I think, and I'm really excited by it. Um, Dave Pegg is saying, we're 5 points behind at the moment, so if we win tonight, we're only 2 points behind. Thanks, Dave. Um, yeah, Paul's making the point there. You're 3 down, you're having a shitty day, you got to drive back from Millwall, from Bermondsey through London, it's a pain in the arse. Steve Mark is saying we're talking about the 6-4 Swindon game. Yeah, it was actually 3-1 to us at half time. It wasn't 4-1, but we did go 4-1 up, and that was some game. It really was. Everyone that was at that game remembers that game. Liavi is saying, 5 points if we win. 5 points if we win. Okay, I thought Dave Pegg was saying it's 5 points now. So what is it now then? It's not 8 points now, is it? We're not 8 points behind 6th place, are we? I don't know. Tina Baker saying I'll be watching on TV with a spliff and a Magnus. You're going around Clive's, Tina. Go around Clive's, you'll see the Magnus with you. He's off his head most of the time. Let's see where we're going. Well, we've hit the 100. We've actually got the commenting turned off now, so Tina got the last commenting. It's been a busy one, hasn't it? It's been enjoyable. Thank you for joining in with me today. We will be doing a post-match one tomorrow afternoon. It will be later for definite. So please try and join us for that. Don't forget our Easter egg appeal is in full flow at the moment, so if you can get in on that, have a look in the group. All the details are in there, or you can message Emma Palmer direct, and Emma will give you details. We have got an Amazon wish list, so you don't even have to take the eggs if you don't want. Deliver them anywhere. You can literally do it from the comfort of your armchair. Just go into Amazon, into the wish list, pick whatever you want, spend a £5 if you want, spend £100 if you want, have it delivered to M's house, and you have to do nothing. And absolutely thank you very much if you can. Don't forget to have a go at the ring and the raffle. That's important for us as a group. I'm hoping to tell you that the website's going to be out this week, and I can't wait for you to see it. I'm really excited about it myself. So guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me. It's been absolutely brilliant hour. It's flown by, hasn't it? So thank you very much, and give us a bit of feedback on it if you want. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on our little conversations, and it will be on YouTube as well. So thank you, and have a fabulous day. Tonight is the night. There's the keep right on look there, and there's the old badge look. Well, come on, you blue boys, the old badge. Cheers, guys. 3 points tonight. Please. See you later.